Snuggle down, close your eyes, and make yourself comfortable. Take a deep breath in through your nose and slowly and gently breathe out through your mouth. Again, take a deep breath in through your nose and slowly and gently breathe out through your mouth. One last time. Deep breath in through your nose and slowly and gently breathe out through your mouth. Just bring your breathing back to its normal rhythm, feeling your chest rise and fall gently. And you're feeling all warm and safe. And you feel so peaceful now, so relaxed. And you feel very happy and very light. And your breathing is almost still. You're so relaxed. And with each breath you take, you feel calmer and more peaceful. And that's because you're breathing in pure peacefulness. And you're breathing out all of the negative thoughts that you've been carrying around with you that you don't need anymore. So, take another deep breath in, breathing in pure peacefulness. And then breathe out, breathing out all the negative thoughts, all the things you don't need anymore. One more time, breathe in, breathing in pure peacefulness. And breathe out. Breathe out all the stuff you no longer need. And now you're feeling very calm, very peaceful, and very relaxed. Now imagine yourself completely surrounded by a beautiful golden light. And this golden light surrounds your whole body. It's above your head. It's beneath your feet. It's everywhere. And this golden light makes you feel all warm, tingly, and very safe. And again, you feel so peaceful, so calm, and so relaxed. But always remember, you are safe, you are loved, and you are protected, always. Now imagine yourself sitting in a large, beautiful garden with an old brick wall completely surrounding it. And the bottom of the walls are all filled with the most amazing flowers. Flowers of every description and every colour you can think of. And the scent from these flowers is just amazing, and it makes you feel so alive and so very happy. There is also a beautiful lawn all around you, and you can see the early morning dew glistening on the grass. You look down and you see that you are standing on a gravel path, and as you walk along it, it crunches under your feet. Can you hear the sound of it crunching? I can. You feel a gentle breeze on your face as you walk along the path. And you feel the warmth of the sun all over your body. And it makes you feel so peaceful. So wonderful, in fact. So you walk on the path to the very back of the garden and come to yet another old brick wall. Only this one is covered in beautiful roses. Roses in all the colours of a rainbow. And they too glisten with the dew in the morning sunshine. And they twinkle just like the stars do at night time. Now in the middle of this wall is an archway. A very old archway. And you wonder where it leads. So you take a little peek through the arch. You can't really see anything. just looks, well, kind of misty, really. Kind of like soft clouds are floating past. You feel really quite excited, and you really want to know what's on the other side of the archway. So you become very brave and decide to go through it. You step through the arch into the mist, and it feels quite cool on your skin, but you keep going. After all, it's only clouds. The cloud slowly begins to part, and what you see next utterly amazes you. You have come out the other side of the archway into another world. How fantastic is that? You see, stretched out before you, a wonderful meadow, and at the end of that meadow, there is a beautiful green and lush forest stretching for miles and miles. You can even see the mountaintops in the distance, and they are so high that they have snow on the top of them, and they look as if someone has just sprinkled them with angel dust. Beautiful white, feathery angel dust. How pretty is that? And off in the distance, you can hear the sound of tumbling water, and you wonder where it's coming from. Maybe it's a waterfall. Sure sounds like one. As you look around you, you see something moving in the distance, and you see it's coming towards you, and it looks, well, kind of hairy. Well, actually, it looks like a very woolly coat, really. What on earth could it be? As it gets closer to you, you realise that it kind of looks like a very hairy elephant. But as it gets even closer, you realise that it's not an elephant at all. It's a very big woolly mammoth. A very big woolly mammoth with a big silly grin on his face and a very big blue floppy hat on his head. How funny. The mammoth stops in front of you and says hello. Well, you are just flabbergasted now. Not only is it a big woolly mammoth with a very big blue floppy hat on its head, it can talk too. Oh my. The big woolly mammoth tells you his name is Frank, and he asks you what your name is, so you tell him. He asks you if he can sit down next to you on the grass. Well, you think, well, okay, why not? So the two of you sit on the grass, and the ground shakes a bit when he sits down because he is so very big and so very, very heavy, and you're really hoping that he doesn't squash you when he sits. But he is very careful, and he doesn't squash you at all. In fact, he's very gentle. Frank tells you he is very glad to meet you, and he begins to tell you all about himself. He tells you that he lives with the rest of his herd, and they are just at the end of the meadow behind those trees up ahead. He tells you he has a mum and a dad, and they are called Mabel and Benny. He tells you he has 3 brothers and 3 sisters, and they are all older than he is. He is the baby of the family, and really, they all spoil him, which he loves. He tells you that he goes to mammoth school with his friends, and they love it there. They get to learn all sorts of things. Everything they wanted to know they can learn there. They love it so much. They even get to go on days out to see what other animals live in their world. Frank really likes school. He also tells you that he loves to play football with his friends too. In fact, it's his favourite thing of all time, playing football. Frank asks you if you would like a ride on his back. You're very happy about this, and you say, oh yes, please. He picks you up with his very long trunk and gently places you on his back, behind the big blue floppy hat. He tells you to hold on tight, and and then begins to stand up. Oh, it's a bit wobbly, but it's okay because you're holding on tightly. Frank completely stands up, and you realise you are very high up now. And he starts to walk with his big lumbering legs, and it really is quite wobbly up on his back, and you're bouncing around a lot, but it's so much fun. You start laughing, and so does Frank. Because you are so high up on Frank's back, you can feel a gentle breeze on your face. You can feel it rippling through your clothes, just gently, and making them flap a bit. Can you feel it? Can you feel the cool breeze? I know I can. So you go for a walk with your new friend Frank. What can you see up from the top of his back? Can you see the hills and the mountains in the distance? Can you see all the beautiful trees in the many different colours? So many greens. There's even a few reds in there too. So for a few moments, spend some time going for a walk with Frank. Have a good look around and just see what else may be there. See if there's any other animals there. Maybe animals that you've never heard of before or never seen before. Maybe Frank will take you to meet his family and his friends. Maybe he will show you his school. Maybe you can even play a game of football with Frank and his friends. Now wouldn't that be fun? So for a few moments, just go and have some fun with Frank. Go and meet his friends and his family. Go and see his school. Wow, now that was fun, wasn't it? But now it's time for you to return to your very own home into your very own bed. So Frank places you gently back down on the ground, and you say your goodbyes, and you tell him that you would love to come back again. Frank says that would be very nice indeed, and that maybe next time you can have a sleepover with him and his friends. And you are thrilled with this idea and said you definitely will. You would love to do that. You wave goodbye to Frank and begin to walk home. When suddenly you realise, wow, you're already back in your very own bed. Wow. What a lovely time you had with Frank, a very gentle, kind and loving, great big, woolly, hairy mammoth. And you smile to yourself, just remembering the day you've had, meeting his friends and his family, seeing his school, just having a wonderful time, just being with Frank, who's so kind and so nice. But your eyes are feeling very sleepy now, very heavy indeed, and you begin to drift into a deep, most wonderful night's sleep. So turn over on your side and snuggle down in your very own bed, feeling so safe, so protected and so very loved. And when you wake up in the morning, you will feel completely refreshed, very bright and alert, and ready to begin the new day ahead. And each night from now on, you will sleep better and better, deeper and deeper. But for now, just rest your weary head and just sleep. Night, night. Now one day, in the middle of a lush green forest, there was a very large river, and in that river lived a lot of crocodiles. Big ones, small ones, even baby ones too. Now these were nice friendly crocodiles. They didn't eat meat, or people for that matter. They were vegetarian crocodiles, which means that they only eat fresh fruit and vegetables. And of course, drink lots of milk to keep their teeth nice and healthy. The crocodiles like to swim in the big river every day. They like to float around on their backs sometimes too, swishing their great big tails around and splashing each other. They had lots and lots of fun doing this. In fact, it was their most favourite thing to do. Well, that and snoozing on the riverbank in the hot sunshine, that is. Now on this day, one of the young crocodiles, whose name was George, wasn't feeling too good. In fact, he was feeling very grouchy indeed. He wouldn't play with the other young crocodiles who were his friends. He wouldn't swim and splash in the water. He didn't even want to lay on the riverbank with any of them either. He just wanted to be by himself. He just lay on the riverbank feeling very sad indeed. He grumbled and moaned when any one of them came near him. The other crocodiles didn't know what was wrong with him. They wanted to help him, but he just growled at them. So they went back into the big river. This really wasn't like George at all, they said to each other. George was usually the happiest one of them all. And they were a bit worried about him, but were a little scared to get any closer to him or to make him any more cross. George just lay there, all alone, feeling lost and lonely. He wanted to play with his friends, but he just couldn't. As George lay on the riverbank under the shade of a great big tree, feeling very sorry for himself, he heard a bird singing in the tree above him. It tweeted and it twittered, quite loudly too. It whistled and hopped from branch to branch. Now George was starting to get annoyed with the little bird and his antics, so he shouted at it to keep quiet. The little bird was startled. He didn't even notice that George was there. Sorry, the little bird said. I didn't mean to upset you. George again told the little bird to keep quiet. The little bird thought that something was wrong with George, and the little bird thought that George sounded very sad. So he flew down to the ground and landed right beside George. Go away, said George. Leave me alone. Are you okay? The little bird asked. No, I'm not, replied George. I have a very bad pain in my mouth and I don't know what it is. It hurts so much. Go away. Oh, said the little bird. Have you cleaned your teeth today? No, said George. It's too painful for me. Well, will you open your mouth and let me take a look? The little bird replied. Maybe I can help you. You can't help me, little bird. You're too small. Well, said the little bird, maybe because I am so small I can help you. All you have to do is open your mouth for me so I can take a look. I promise I won't hurt you. George glared at him. But George slowly opened his very large mouth and let the little bird take a look inside. The little bird looked at George's very large pointy teeth and remembered it was okay because George was a vegetarian and he didn't eat little birds, so he knew he was safe. What the little bird saw in George's mouth was a peach stone stuck between two of his teeth. No wonder it was hurting him. It was stuck fast and pressing on the teeth either side of it, which thought the little bird must be causing George an awful lot of pain. The little bird told George what he had seen, and George's eyes filled with tears, and he said, It's stuck there forever now because I can't get it out. If you trust me to help you, I will get it out for you, said the little bird. I can peck at it very gently and break it up so it falls out by itself. George sighed. He was very scared and he was in a lot of pain. But he knew that the peach stone had to come out. So he said yes to the little bird. He said he would be very grateful for his help. So the little bird hopped onto George's tongue and began to gently peck at the peach stone to break it up. George moaned a little bit, but stayed very brave. It only took a few minutes for the stone to break and fall onto George's tongue. The little bird hopped off George's tongue and watched as he spat out the offending peach stone. George was so very happy. He didn't feel any more pain at all. He was so grateful to the little bird for all his help. Thank you, thank you, thank you, he said to the little bird. You are very welcome, the little bird said. And just before he flew off into the tree above, he said to George, You know that if you clean your teeth twice a day, every day, and after your meals, you won't get things stuck in your mouth. And just like that, he flew off and continued to tweet and twitter in the tree above. His whistling really was quite loud. But this time, George didn't mind at all, and he ambled off to swim in the river, feeling very happy indeed. So you see, it really is a good thing to brush your teeth twice a day and after meals, so you don't get things stuck in your teeth. But you, having listened to this little story about George and the little bird, are feeling rather sleepy now. And you are breathing calmly and peacefully as you begin to drift into a beautiful night's sleep. And you feel so happy, so peaceful. And as your body begins to fall asleep, you smile to yourself, thinking about vegetarian crocodiles who eat peaches. You feel a gentle wave of sleepiness drifting all over your body. And it feels warm and tingly and ever so soft, making your body feel very, very heavy, very, very tired, and very, very sleepy. And you feel very peaceful now and so relaxed. So relaxed and so very, very sleepy. You just want to sleep. You just want to drift off to a beautiful sleep. So do that now. And remember, you are safe, you are loved, and you are protected. Always. Night night. Now I'm going to tell you a little story. And it begins. The lion was asleep under a tree in a beautiful jungle. And he wakes up to find something moving around him. And he gives a big roar and he says, "What is this?" He holds up a little mouse in his big paw. And the lion says to the little mouse, "Because you woke me up, I will make a nice little snack out of you." The little mouse trembles because he really doesn't want to be eaten. The little mouse says to the mighty lion, "Oh, please, please don't eat me. Someday I may be able to help you. If you eat me, then I won't be able to help you if you need it." The mighty lion laughed at the little mouse. How could a little mouse ever help a great big lion like me? The little mouse said, "I don't know, but please, please don't eat me." The mighty lion looked at the little mouse and thought for a moment. "Okay, little mouse, because you made me laugh, I won't eat you. I will let you go." "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you," said the little mouse. "I won't forget what you've done for me, and someday I will help you, I promise." The little mouse scampered off. The mighty lion laughed again and said, "That little mouse could never help anyone. He is far too small." A week later, the mighty lion found himself trapped under the same tree. He was tied up so badly that he could not break free. "I can't get away," he said to himself. "I'm trapped and I don't know how to free myself." Just then, he heard a sound. He heard the words, "Shh, do you remember me?" "Who said that?" the lion roared. "It's me, the little mouse," came the reply. "You didn't eat me, and I said that I would help you in return if you ever needed it." "Yes, I remember you," the lion replied. "But there is no way anyone can help me now. I am trapped." "Shh, please stay still," said the little mouse. "I can help you. I can get you out of the trap before the hunters come back, but you must stay quiet." "How can you help me?" said the lion. "Please be quiet," said the little mouse. "I can chew the ropes around you and I will set you free, but please, you must stay quiet." The little mouse chews through the ropes until they break free and fall away from the mighty lion. "You are free now," said the little mouse. The mighty lion looked down at the little mouse and said, "You were right. You did help me. You set me free, and I am very grateful to you for that." The mighty lion looked at the little mouse one more time and said, "Even a little mouse can be a good friend to a mighty lion like me, and I am so happy that I didn't eat you." "So am I," said the little mouse. The mighty lion ran off into the jungle, and he ran so that the hunters couldn't find him anywhere, and the little mouse scurried off into the undergrowth. Maybe one day they might meet again. So you see, it really is a good thing to help others, whether they are big lions or your friends, because one day you may need their help too. But really, it's a good thing to help others just because you can. But now it's time for you to get some sleep, and your eyes are beginning to feel heavy, and your eyelids are beginning to droop. But your body feels so peaceful, so relaxed, so calm, and so very, very heavy. You feel very sleepy now too. And you can feel a gentle wave of sleepiness starting at your feet. You can feel your toes going to sleep, and it feels all warm and tingly and ever so soft. And you feel a soothing, gentle wave of sleepiness coming up your calves and your shins. You can feel it going up your thighs, and you think your legs have already gone to sleep. You feel very tired now, so sleepy, but so happy. And your eyes, well, they just don't want to open up at all. The beautiful wave of sleepiness travels all the way up your body and down your arms and into your hands, making your body feel very, very heavy, very, very tired, and very, very sleepy. And this gentle, warm wave of sleepiness travels up your face and over the top of your head, down the back of your neck. And you feel so tired now, so sleepy. And you feel all nice and warm and snuggly under your beautiful, soft quilt and very fluffy, squidgy pillows. So just have a little sleep now. Just rest. Night, night. Sleep tight. Today, I'm going to tell you a story. And this is a story about a young puppy called Bert. Now, Bert is only 7 months old, but he's an Irish wolfhound. And because he's an Irish wolfhound, he is very, very big. So big, in fact, he's the size of a fully grown, large, very large, German Shepherd, probably even bigger. Now, Bert lived with his mum, Sheila, and his dad, Frank. And they lived in a little cottage with a very large garden, so large it had its own meadow, its own forest, and it even had its own swimming pool. Yes, really, its own swimming pool. Well, actually, it was a large pond, but they liked it. Now this day, Bert came rushing out of his back door with his tail wagging furiously, kicking up the dirt as he ran. Bert was very happy this day, as he was going out all by himself to explore, and it was the first time his parents had let him out by himself, and he was so excited he was grinning from ear to ear. His mother called after him, saying, "Now don't you go too far, Bert. We don't want you getting lost." Bert shouted back that he wouldn't get lost, as he was 7 months old now and he knew what he was doing. Bert carried on running down the dusty path and on into the meadow. The meadow was his favourite place. He'd only ever been there with his parents before, so he was just giddy with pleasure to be out all by himself, all on his own. Bert ran into the most wonderful, colourful meadow where the birds were happily singing, and he could hear the bees buzzing lazily around the flowers. But he kept away from them though, because one day he decided to play and chase the bees. Well, the bees didn't like that, and one of them stung him. And that was the day Bert went to the vets for the very first time. Some of the flowers in the meadow had shed some of their petals, and Bert thought that the dusty path now looked like a brightly coloured carpet of flowers. The colours were bright and vibrant, and it filled him with a sense of joy and happiness. He could also see the most wonderful red butterflies landing on the flowers looking for their lunch. And as Bert ran further into the meadow, he could see the old water fountain, the one made of marble, and he could see the water cascading down it like a beautiful waterfall. He decided to have a drink. After all, this running merrily was thirsty work indeed. After drinking the cool, clear water from the marble fountain, Bert carried on, walking this time instead of running. He'd calmed down now and he began to sniff everything in sight. And sniff he did. He sniffed the flowers. He sniffed the long grass. He even sniffed the butterflies. And one of the butterflies landed on his nose and gently moved its wings. Bert tried to look at it, but it made his eyes go crossed, and he was very relieved when it flew off again. Bert carried on, going his way, just walking along the dusty path, quite happily, when he noticed something moving up ahead of him. He didn't know what it was, so he went to investigate. And as he got closer, he realised that it was a rabbit. A very beautiful silver grey rabbit. So Bert decided he would go and play with the rabbit, but the rabbit got very scared because he could see a dog rushing towards him. Well, you would get scared seeing a very large, lumbering giant of a dog rushing towards you with its ears flapping and showing its teeth with a big grin. I'd get a bit panicky. The little rabbit panicked and began to run as fast as it could to get away. Bert thought that this was a game, so he decided to run faster too. The rabbit, now alarmed, ran even faster until it came to a hole in the ground and then dived deeply down into it. This was a rabbit hole and it led through to underground tunnels. But it wasn't the little rabbit's home, so it got a bit lost. So it just stopped and it stayed in the tunnel, thinking that the big hairy dog wouldn't find it. But the big hairy dog did find it. Bert, now being overly excited, still thinking that this was a game they were playing, dived into the hole too, but oh no, he got himself stuck. He tried to go deeper into the hole, but that made it worse. He tried to pull himself out, but that was even worse again. And he was going deeper, and he was stuck fast. Now, the little rabbit, who was also in the hole, was very scared indeed, because all it could see was Bert's big hairy face and sharp teeth. The little rabbit thought that Bert wanted to eat it, and he didn't know what to do. So the little rabbit started to dig with his little paws, trying to find another way out. It dug and it dug, faster and faster, until eventually it broke through the surface and was free. The little rabbit stood for a moment, wondering what to do, and then took a peek to see if the dog was still there. But what the little rabbit saw was an enormous hairy bottom with two hairy legs and a hairy tail that had stopped wagging now. The little rabbit then heard a whimper. It saw the big hairy dog trying to get out of the hole, but it couldn't. And the big hairy dog began to cry, and it sounded very scared. The little rabbit was about to run away home, but the sound of the hairy dog crying made it stop. The hairy bottom and the hairy back legs then lay down with its tail no longer wagging. The little silver grey rabbit stopped and spoke to the hairy dog. Are you okay? She asked, because the little rabbit was a girl rabbit. The big hairy dog gave another scared whimper. So she asked again, Are you okay, big hairy dog? Bert stopped whimpering and said, No, I'm stuck and I can't get out of this hole, and I'm very scared. I want my mum to come and help me, Bert said to the little rabbit. But she doesn't know where I am. Please will you help me? The little rabbit thought for a moment and then said, But if I help you to get out of the hole, you will eat me. What? Said Bert. Of course I won't eat you. Why would I want to eat you? I only wanted to play with you. Bert gave a muffled sigh and said, We live so far away from everything, so I don't have any friends. I thought that we could be friends. I'm sorry if I scared you. I didn't mean to." Bert gave a little whimper again, and he sounded ever so sad. The little rabbit thought for a moment, and even though she was still scared of the big hairy dog, she knew in her heart that he wouldn't hurt her. So she said, "Okay, I will help you get out of the hole." "Oh, thank you so much," said Bert. The little rabbit went to where Bert was really stuck, which was so close to his head and his big scary teeth. But she began to dig anyway. She dug and she dug, faster and faster, harder and harder, until finally she had made enough room for Bert to wriggle out of the hole. Bert exploded out of the hole and was so happy to be free. He had been very scared, and he was covered in dirt and grass. It was all over his face and in his ears. It was even up his nose. So he gave himself a great big shake, and he shook off most of the dirt, but he knew his mum would make him take a bath when he got home. She would definitely not let him walk on the carpet she was cleaning when he left earlier, and she would definitely not let him eat his dinner until he was all sparkly clean again. Bert turned to look at the little rabbit, and what he saw made him give a great big lopsided grin. The little silver grey rabbit was the most beautiful creature he had ever seen, and she had the kindest smile and the most amazing blue eyes. He'd never seen a rabbit with blue eyes before. "Thank you so much for helping me," he said. "My name is Bert, and I am 7 months old. What's your name?" "My name is Lucy, and I am 7 months old too," she replied. Lucy looked at the giant hairy dog and saw nothing but kindness in his big brown eyes, and she realised that she wasn't afraid of him anymore. Just then, Bert heard his name being called in the distance, and he knew that it was his mum. "I have to go now. My mum is calling for me, and oh boy, is she going to be mad that I am so dirty." Bert looked at Lucy and said, "Can we be friends? I would really like to play with you next time and not scare you." "Of course we can," said Lucy. "I would love to be your friend and go on adventures with you." Bert said, "Well, how about tomorrow then? Say just after lunch." "Great, I will be here," said Lucy. And with that, she waved goodbye and she hopped off home. Bert was so happy. He'd made a new friend. And even though she was scared of him at first, Lucy trusted him enough to help him. Bert thought she was a very, very kind little rabbit. Then Bert turned and dashed off home to his mum and to his dad, feeling so very happy, and to tell them all about his new friend. He couldn't wait for tomorrow to see Lucy again and to go off on an adventure with her. What fun they were going to have together. But now, having listened to this lovely story, you are feeling very sleepy. You are breathing calmly and peacefully as you begin to drift in a beautiful night's sleep. You feel so happy and so peaceful. And your body begins to fall asleep. And then so does your mind. And you feel a gentle wave of sleepiness starting at your feet. And you can feel your toes going to sleep. And it feels all warm and tingly and ever so soft. And you feel this soothing, gentle wave of sleepiness coming up your calves and your shins, through your knees and all the way up your thighs. And you realise your legs have already gone to sleep. And you feel so tired now, so sleepy, but so very happy. You just want to rest your eyes, rest your body. And this beautiful wave of sleepiness travels all the way up your body and all the way down your arms and into your hands, making your body feel very, very heavy, very, very tired, and very, very sleepy. And this gentle, warm wave of sleepiness travels up your face and over the top of your head and down the back of your neck. And you feel so tired now. Oh, give a yawn. You feel so sleepy. You feel very peaceful, so very relaxed. So very, very sleepy. Just want to sleep. But always remember, you are safe, you are loved, and you are protected. Always. Night, night. Good night.